Hey, today we're talking about Jesus healing the man with the withered hand. And I am really excited about this because I think there's always something to learn about the miracles. Like, you learn that Jesus has all power and can do these miracles, but then you also learn a lesson about other things in life, the importance of family or faith or whatever. You know, there's so much more that we learn from the miracles. And I like this one, especially the part about the Sabbath. So this miracle, when Jesus heals the man with the withered hand, he heals the withered hand. This is in Matthew, Mark, and Luke again. So we get it from the three Gospels. We're going to get this from Matthew today. I kind of like the Matthew one. There's a little extra information I feel like that I like in there. But the big thing is that this happens on the Sabbath. And this makes some people unhappy for some reason. And it's hard to, it's hard to fairly judge the circumstance from 2025. Like, we're 2,000 years later after this happened. So it's hard to judge. You can't judge the reaction of the people at that time because we don't know their situation. We don't know the customs. We don't know how life was at that time. If I'm judging them from how life is in 2,000 years later, after people have been reading about the story for 2,000 years and society has been adjusting. So I try and look at it also from their experience. And if you go back, if you look in the Bible, the Sabbath day is extremely important. Today, I still feel it is extremely important. I think it's far more important than we always give it credit for today. But if you look in the beginning, in Genesis, very beginning, we start with the creation, right? We go through the different days of the creation. God said, let there be light, and there was light. Boom, 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 boom. So we have the 7 days of the creation, and what happens on the seventh day? God rested. And I think this is huge. God rested on the seventh day. There's no people. There's no Adam and Eve. There's no commandments. Nothing. We don't know anything yet. Just that the earth is created and God rested. I think that's extremely important. Like, before we even hear about Adam and Eve, we know that the Sabbath day is important. That even God himself rested on the seventh day. Amazing. There's 10 commandments. The Sabbath day is number 4, I believe. Number 4. The first 3 I'll talk about God. And number 4 is about the Sabbath day. So number 4 of 10. And I don't know if they're listed in order of importance. But the fact that keeping the Sabbath day holy made the 10 commandments, I think, is extremely important and valuable to know about our own lives. So, given that importance, I try and think of, like, how important is it? And I don't know how it was like, the cultures and customs. We try and learn. We try and understand what it's like. You can look at the Sabbath day. And for some people, you can only take so many steps. You can only do so many things. You cook your food the day before. Like, you work so hard to keep the Sabbath day holy. There's so many restrictions around the Sabbath day to keep that holy, and very much different than today in our society. Anyway, we're going to Matthew 12, 9. Matthew 12, 9. And he was departed. He went into a synagogue on the Sabbath. It's a good thing to do on the Sabbath. And he beheld there was a man which had his hand withered. I'm not sure, it was withered somehow. And they asked him, saying, so Jesus goes in there. Jesus sees the man with the withered hand. And these guys, they're already, probably not the guy with the hand, but, like, people are waiting to, like, trap Jesus. They're trying to trap him. Is he going to do something really good on the Sabbath when he shouldn't? So they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on Sabbath days? And that they might accuse him. So they're trying to accuse him. So they're asking Jesus if he can heal on the Sabbath. Like, if you have that divine power to heal someone and you decide that you can heal on the Sabbath, great. You can heal whenever you want. You obviously have that divine power, and it's not up to the scribes or Pharisees or me to say otherwise. It's God. It's Jesus. Jesus can do what he wants. So they're trying to trap Jesus. And again, I'm looking at Jesus from 2,000 years ago, and I have a different view of Jesus than those who were living with him at that time, obviously. And he's in 11, and he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. So it sounds like Jesus is giving an example of something obvious. If your sheep goes off and it falls in a pit and it's going to die, like, you can't stay in the pit. You got to go save your sheep. Is it okay to go save your sheep? And I'm guessing the example, again, I don't have sheep or a pit for the sheep to fall in. But if I was living in that day, I'm guessing Jesus gave this example because everyone would say yes. I'm guessing everyone here would be like, well, yeah, I would I would save my sheep. So it seems like the answer would be yes. Obvious answer to his question, that even on the Sabbath day, even when your steps are limited, your work is limited, what you do is limited, you would still go save the life of your sheep. Then again, how much better is a man than a sheep? It's a good question. And again, the answer seems like a whole lot. 13, then saith he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. So he's done with the people who are trying to trap him. He's done with them. He moves on to the man with the withered hand. Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole like as the other. So he put out his hand, and it was whole like the other. He was healed immediately. Again, when I look at the when I look at the miracles, I look at a few things like, how long did the miracle take? How long did it take Jesus? The answer is pretty much always immediately. His hand was healed immediately. He told him to stretch his hand out, and he stretched it out, and it was healed. Happened immediately. What did this man have to do to be healed? In our other videos, we talk about faith, the importance of faith in believing in Jesus, especially the centurion who had the faith. Here, we don't know if he had faith. I'm guessing he did. He got healed. Whether he had faith before or after or never did, I don't know. We just don't know very much. But he was healed. And I like that, because I think a lot of times in the scriptures especially, we learn that faith leads to miracles. Also, so many times Jesus heals us. Jesus does miracles in our life when our faith is lacking, or when we don't have faith, or when we have no faith. I'm sorry. And we didn't even ask for a miracle. We didn't seek a miracle. Maybe we didn't know we needed one. And Jesus will still intervene in our lives. So whether we have zero faith, some faith, or a ton of faith, Jesus can do those miracles. In this case, we don't know. Don't know his faith. We don't know about the faith of anyone. We just know that he went into went in here and healed on the Sabbath day. It wasn't the man. I don't think he was there. He was part of the trap. It doesn't sound like he was part of the trap. It sounds like he's just an innocent guy but the bystanders were seeing if Jesus would heal him because they wanted to trap him. Verse 14, then the Pharisees went out and held a council against them, how they might destroy him. Come on, guys. You just saw someone heal. You just saw this withered, crippled hand of some type, and it was healed immediately, and it stretched forth. And you were waiting because you knew Jesus was going to the synagogue that day, and you were waiting there. You knew someone needed to be healed. They knew Jesus would heal that person because they had seen him do it so many times in the past. But it was the Sabbath. And they were waiting to trap him on the Sabbath day. And when he did a miracle on the Sabbath day, they sought to destroy him. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. I can't even imagine. Great multitudes. I don't know what that means. Hundreds, thousand. Again, we see Jesus teaching 4,000 people, 5,000 people. Men, so women and children would put that number much, much higher. So I don't know how many people are here, but again, as Jesus did when everyone in the city came, a few miracles back, he healed them all. That is awesome. And then again, after he healed them all, charged them that they should not make him known. And I think that he's asking people to not spread the word about him is, I don't even know. We can only guess. I can only guess because I don't know. But it sounds like he maybe wants to be on earth a little longer. He doesn't. The Pharisees are already trying to kill him. They're trying to destroy him, which isn't just, get rid of him. Like they want him destroyed, which is crazy. They want his teachings. They want his healings. They want him destroyed. And I think the more people that know him and follow him, it's easier for the bad guys also to follow Jesus and destroy him. And again, I know, try and think of it from the Pharisees' point of view, like the Sabbath day is so important. You want to keep it holy. There's so many rules to keep it holy. And someone just comes in and to them just blatantly disrespects the Sabbath day. It doesn't sound like that's the only reason. Like they're laying a trap for him in the first place. Like they're already mad at Jesus. Like after it says they want to destroy Jesus, but before they were much better. They were already mad at him. They were already laying a trap for him. That I love that Jesus still healed a person. Obviously, Jesus knew it was a trap. Obviously, as soon as they ask Jesus, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? Everybody there knows what's going on. It's not hidden. They're trying to trap Jesus to see if he will heal on the Sabbath day. He heals a person, which a withered hand that grows to like full strength immediately. No one's ever seen that before. That is a different kind of miracle. Like that is huge to watch that happen, and to watch that happen and then be angry that Jesus healed that person, that you want to destroy him. And maybe it's because the Pharisees, they were top of the spiritual food chain before Jesus came around, and Jesus is threatening that. Probably a lot of reasons that they weren't happy. But then he healed them all. Multitudes, great multitudes. I don't know how much a great multitude is, but he healed the one person on the Sabbath. They wanted to destroy him. And then he went and healed hundreds or thousands. I don't know. A whole ton of people. He healed them all. And I can only imagine how frustrating that was for the Pharisees who wanted to kill him after healing one person. Then he heals like a bajillion people. And it's amazing. And I love it. And I love that Jesus heals people that come to him. In this case, yes, Jesus went to the synagogue. The person was there and he was healed. A lot of the miracles, people go to him and are healed. And I like that because I do not believe it's any different that day. Sometimes Jesus comes to where we are and heals us. Sometimes he waits for us to go to him. Either way, closing that gap, I think, is the important thing. And if we're not feeling him coming into our life, let's go find him. Let's bring our illness and our sickness and our struggles to him. And I 100% don't believe it's any different today than it was back then. This is what Jesus does. This is how Jesus rolls. He wants to heal us. He wants to heal you of your pain, whatever that pain is. He wants to heal it just as much as he wanted to heal the man with the crippled hand. And he loves you, and he loves all of us, and he wants to heal all of us of that pain, that thing that you want to be healed of. That's what he does. He heals us. That's why he lived and still lives to do. That's what he does. Let's seek him out and give him those burdens that we've been carrying. Love you guys.